Everyone, welcome to a very special episode of K9 Legends and Trailblazers. Today, we're going to be featuring one of my favorite Trailblazers, Miss Haiden Montgomery. Miss Haiden Montgomery is currently a federal service employee. She is currently in a role of a K9 trainer, a K9 handler instructor, and an evaluator for teams. Hey, how you doing, Haiden?
Good, good. It is definitely an honor to be considered a trailblazer. Let me start by saying that because, ooh, Lord, I still have so much to learn in my position to this day.
Don't we all? Don't we all? And that's
Honored to
that's
be here.
that's like the key thing in K9. Like once you stop learning, it's time to hang it up. So so I
Back.
can appreciate that statement. But for those that don't know you, can you tell us a little bit about your background prior to being K9?
Sure. I started off as a TSO, which for TSA, which was the people in blue checking IDs and whatnot. And I saw canine handlers at the airport, and I was just in awe of what their canines could do. And I was like, I want to get into that. I wanted to stay in the government because I wanted to serve in some type of format since I never did the military, and that was my option at the time. And I back then when I was in TSA and wanting to be a TSA canine handler, you had to have either a military background or a cop background and or some canine experience, and I didn't have that at all whatsoever. So I left that federal service and went into a private sector to gain canine experience and with K2 Solutions and immediately got into the handlers course and started some pilot programs. And I had so many great opportunities of being a canine handler going all over the country and even to Canada with like an oil detection dog. Like I've learned so much. And then after being with K2 for 2.5 years, I went to Vaporwake for 2.5 years as well. Got some more canine experience because each company all has their different ways of handling. And I love learning and keep on figuring out and how different people do it. And heard so many great names from all over the canine world and companies. And so I did a pilot program with Vaporwake with weapon detections in a school system. And then after that, 6 years, like during those whole 6 years I was leaving TSA, I kept applying every few months to get back into the government sector. And finally, 6 years later, I got in, and here I am now.
All right, so we're gonna go dig into all of that a little bit. Yeah, we're gonna go dig into all that a little bit. So, you know, I talked to someone about you, and they said you were very persistent, right? You were coming around every couple of weeks trying to figure out how to get in K9, getting K9, getting K9. And what you glossed over real quickly was a very good dedication to piece to K9 was that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but when you left federal service, you went and paid your own way through a K9 handler course.
Yeah, I paid a little portion of it.
Yeah. So that within itself says a lot about your character, right? So let's start there. So you go to K2 Solutions, and this is in like 2016.
Correct.
Two, K2 at that point not as big as they once were with the IDD program, but
Right.
still putting out really good dog teams, doing a lot of good work. Um, so you're over there, and then you meet somebody that is actually somebody I had on this show
Yep,
not too long ago.
Mr. Paul Bunker, oh my Lord, who also never stops learning, and that's who I always strive to be and stay persistent doing. So yeah, and it took me under his wing, and he got me into the oil detection, and I did that for a good amount of time within K2 as well.
Yeah, so that I want to talk about that. So oil detection is basically K9 teams going out to oil spills or suspected oil spill areas, right? And they're searching for what are they searching for out there? Like what from the range of what, like a minute drop of
Yeah, like
oil to what?
yeah. I one of my have a retired oil dog now, and she found like size of oil the size of my pinky nail, and she did a couple of trials where she found oil within like 5 feet below ground, and so I stay in awe of what dogs are
So
capable
subsurface, right? So that's subsurface
for
finds.
the yeah, as long as it has the hydrocarbon molecule,
Yeah.
she's on pinpoint.
Well, one thing that's different about that kind of work is, the job you're in now, you really hope you never find anything,
Right.
right? Because it goes boom. But that particular target odor, I guess, if you will, that one specifically, I mean, you could have 100 finds in an hour.
Exactly. I genuinely, that's been my most favorite gig so far because, like, it was off leash and it's okay if you didn't find a speck of oil or whatnot. You just had so many finds and ways of maneuvering to keep the dog amped. Like, okay, how do you keep on going even though you keep on finding? How do you keep on progressing forward day after day with, like, because when we were out for an oil spill, we were there for 6 days, 12-hour work days. And so, so much
Having
fun.
finds and having finds that entire time, right?
Exactly.
So like, yeah, I want to stay on that for a minute because it's really, really interesting to me because I think number one, it kind of validates your dog. It validates your training. Um, again, nobody's gonna die if you, well, not necessarily. I guess if you don't find the oil spill, it can
Right.
contaminate the
Wildlife,
water. And
for
I
sure.
think with what you guys were working, the river was contaminated.
Exactly.
And when you're talking about up north, like in Canada, that might be an industry affecting an industry, right? Not only
Exactly.
the land, but everything, downriver of it. So in comparison into how you train dogs now, and how you train dogs when you started over with federal service in 2021, yeah, 2021,
Yeah.
what I mean, I can only imagine like if you had a Malinois and you had 100 fawns, trying to get that Kong back after every fawn. So what's that look like?
So with my dog, we just differentiated her reward system with, like, some physical praise, verbal praise, some treats, her reward, and then she just luckily had so much drive to just keep on going. She was just having fun, and I was having fun and keeping that momentum. I think that in our relationship too, I feel like that kind of had a big part of it,
Right.
and just kept on going and plus getting her endurance kept maintained throughout the time as well, and then on our one day off, we just did nothing but both of us just recoup. So
Just do laundry. Just do
exactly,
laundry.
legit.
Yeah, no doubt. And I would think another thing with that is you got to have more than a primary reward, right? You have to
Exactly.
have a primary, a secondary, maybe even a third.
Yeah, for
So
sure.
is there what was your dog's primary reward? The big, you're amazing, you're the best dog in the world. What was that reward for your
Hers
dog?
was the tennis ball.
Okay, so let's talk about tennis ball. So tennis ball, you're saving that for the big find.
Exactly.
But how do you know which one's the big find and not the small, minute piece?
Well, when we were out in the field, we would have the big tar balls or, like, the matted underneath the sand. So that was when I knew was a, or like when she had a hard time and she was staying on the ground and, like, trying to find her way to even minute. That's when I differentiated between the tennis ball. And then when she did find her other normal stuff, that's when I would give a little quick little treat and then we just keep on trucking. She's like,
Just
okay,
keep moving,
all right,
right?
I'm done. Yeah, exactly.
Right, because you're trying to mark actually where these things are, right? And you
Exactly.
guys do that with is that like
The
the
pin flags. Yep.
flags? Yeah.
Exactly.
So yeah, I can imagine that. You find one here, you got to move on. You find
Yes.
one here, you got to move on. You find one here, you got to move on. That's pretty amazing. How long did that training take to get up and ready for that?
For canine or both of us?
For the specifically like the Canadian oil spills like that.
Shoot, she picked it up within a week. They gave us a sample of the oil that they wanted to find, and
Yeah,
she immediately picked up on that, was imprinted within 30 minutes, and
yeah.
we went trucking from there. And then we did another trial where we didn't have to imprint the oil because once she picked up the hydrocarbon picture,
Yeah.
and
It
it
was
was
all the same then. Yeah,
exactly.
okay. Cool. Well, also I can imagine like you with that EPA was probably pretty heavily involved in that as well. Meaning, did y'all have a team with y'all or y'all were just out there
Yeah,
by
we
yourself?
had so many teams. We also work with First Nations on their land. So we either had a First Nation representative, we had the oil company themselves, and then we had the special cleanup crew. Then we had a scat crew determining the measurements and where it was pinpointed. It was a big squad.
And you guys, how much of that were y'all walking?
Oh my goodness, I think we did a good 15 miles a day.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That sounds great though. I mean,
it
you're out,
was. We had so much fun.
right, you're out in the wilderness and the
Exactly.
northern tier. What
off leash
about what
boat.
about wildlife, man? What
Oh
about
yeah, we ran into big beavers, moose, and bear. We had to carry bear spray on us and whistles at all times, and sometimes we even had to wear like waders and walk through the water and the river. And I enjoyed it so much. It was so much fun.
yeah, it doesn't sound like a high pressure job, you know?
Exactly.
Like just you and your dog out looking for stuff and
Right, working on a boat, like come on.
yeah, you can't beat that. That's cool.
Right.
All right, so that's with K2, right? So with K2, that's not all you did though. You also did vapor or PBED, right?
With vaporweight.
With K2. I'm
Okay, so
sorry.
yeah, person born.
Person born
Yeah,
explosive
yeah. I did
protection.
a couple of Super Bowls with them, a lot of NFL, NBA, NHL, MLB games.
That's right. They have a lot of those contracts. That's
Yeah.
right.
Mhm.
Cool. So finally, you well, not finally, not yet. So then you go over to Vaporweight, and
Right.
that's is that Alabama, right?
Right.
Anniston.
Yeah, and then my contract was placed elsewhere in the country, out in Indiana, and I was out there for 2 years doing their pilot program.
And so was a lot most of that like firearms and ammo? Like what
Correct. Yeah, we did just strictly firearms. My dog that I had was originally an explosive detection dog, but then we started training him with the weapon detection.
so what kind of like operation would you be running with that?
We did Monday through Friday, going through 10 schools, five elementaries, and three middle school and one high school, if I did the math right. And then just getting the kids off the bus, searching them before they enter the school building. And then I did whatever events the schools had as well.
So literally like students were coming off the buses like they were lining up to go into an airport checkpoint.
Yeah,
And so
exactly.
you guys were
I was
working the
just
wake
surfing
with
through the
them, yeah.
hallways. Exactly.
Yeah, okay, cool. And then there were also EDC. Did you guys go in? You went inside and searched the schools as well?
Exactly. We did lockers as well.
Oh, gotcha. You have any
And it's
fines?
negative, none.
Thank goodness.
That exactly for sure. But yeah, it was a pretty cool opportunity. It was such a good connection to make, and being around kids, that was very uplifting and reassuring, and just promoting safety for them, making them feel comfortable
Yeah,
regardless.
100%. Makes you feel good about the job you're doing, right?
Absolutely.
Um, so that's going on, and you do that for a couple of years, right?
Correct.
But you're
Just
also you're being very modest again, but you're also like one of the senior handlers there at your 2 year mark, right?
yes, I was. Yeah, they eventually made me a lead handler of that position, and was just controlling all. We had two other canine teams I was under, but
All right, so then you're the glory bell rings, right? You're still applying the whole time this is going on. You're still applying for federal service jobs,
exactly.
and you get the call to do an interview. Where is that at?
Finally back home to New Orleans.
To New Orleans, and you got history in Louisiana, right?
I do. I went to school there, and I was wanting to go back for years, and I finally made my way back.
How about them Tigers, huh?
Yeah.
Not so much this year, but maybe
Lord,
next.
no.
Yeah, maybe next year. Yeah. All right, so you get back into federal service, and now you got to go to K-9 school, right?
Exactly. And
So
and that was like my third school, and like still a whole new different way of handling. So it was just I'm enthralled. Like you can still persistently just keep on learning.
yeah, and I can imagine like some of that pressure of already being a handler for some time, and then and if people find out that, right, other people find out in your class that you've already got, at this point, you'd been K-9 since 2016. Now it's 2021, 6 years,
Right.
that's just enough time to, get your feet wet, start having your toolbox fill up a little bit with different methods and technologies. And one thing that Paul Bunker always says, and I always love it, is train the dog in front of you, right? Train the dog in front of you. So now you have this dog, you start this school, and the way that Federal Service Academy is set up is that's a new dog,
Exactly.
right? That dog still hasn't been completed yet. I think maybe they've been validated, but not quite completed.
Yeah, not even validated when I
Oh,
was
not
on.
even validated.
Yeah, not at all. We had to go through the validation process.
Oh, so you went through the really long
Yeah,
course.
they started off, I think, with a couple odors on them, and then we finished them off.
Right.
Yeah,
So yeah, there's that pressure, right? Coming right back on you. Um, and sometimes I know if you learn different methods, sometimes we pick up habits, right? I see it all the time. People will pick up habits from doing something else, and then this federal service is like, no, we need you to do it this way.
Exactly.
Right.
I
Yeah.
remember like my leash manipulation had to change up, and that was like hard to form a new habit of doing.
Yeah.
But
Oh, of
hey,
course.
other tools.
Yeah, I see it all the time. I do a work with a contractor group here, and that leash manipulation is like it's insane as far as like how I know and I've been taught to do it for so many years versus what I see out there, maybe jumbled up around the hand or barely dragging a leash around. So okay, so you get there, you get through school, and that school is how long? I don't remember.
Almost 5 months. I think I was there from January to May.
Right.
Yeah,
So pretty
right.
extensive school for K9 for a single purpose dog. It's very extensive.
Sure.
But that school, that focuses you on any environment that you may run into the transportation environment, right? So it's broad, it's very big. But what was the hardest part about that school?
Oh man, I think being with a green dog and like still learning how to, because I think because when I was first becoming a handler at K2, it was already done, it was finished. And so I was still trying to figure out how to also train me and learn my new ways and with the dogs. I think that was the biggest one.
100% because it's pretty easy to take a trained dog and say, this is how you work this dog. Go, right? And that's actually good on K2, man. That makes life a little easier. But it's a different kind of challenge when you have to influence the training of that dog. And I think a lot of times in our career field, um, there are a lot of handlers that pretend to be trainers, right? And no offense to them, it's just they just don't have the reps or the experience yet. And it's kind of how that goes. But now you're back at this school. You get through this school, this 5 month school, and that's a pretty structured school. I'm familiar with it. I taught at it at one point. Um, so then you transition back to New Orleans, right? So you get back to New Orleans, you got a new dog, new career, you got a new truck, or maybe
Mhm.
not a new truck, but a truck.
Right.
Talk to me about that transition, coming back into TSA after being gone for so many years.
Right. Oh, that was hard because I also was like moving in the midst of that, getting my stuff back together. But it was my team was amazing to work with and made me comfortable, and they were also had a ton of experience. So I was so lucky, and it set me through a good routine and good training program, and still building my learning. And because learning from school is one thing, but then applying it to the real world situation and live environment completely different.
Yeah.
It's so hard to replicate it and and then gain that confidence, and especially in your dog in a real live environment. Like, okay, do I go with it? And I'm like, of course. And so just it was so much fun still, and I love it. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I get that. And something key you said is that support factor means the world, right?
100%.
So you could take 10 students in a class and give them the exact same training and send them out to 10 different locations. They might not all be successful because if they don't have that support environment for the trainer, the supervisor, the one assisting with getting those support items you need, such as, anything to do with PBID, then you're not going to be successful and you're not going to gain that. Also, New Orleans is a small location, which means, it's going to be not to sound terrible, but it's going to be like an intimate relationship, right? Like you're going to get to know each other. You work with each other on a daily basis, and there's a lot of trust versus you go out to somewhere, one of the big CADX airports, and you've got 30 handlers and nobody gets along, right?
Exactly.
Um, so yeah, very lucky in that sense, right? And I know some of the folks over there, Benjamin Vodakovich and Matt Keen, what a great experience. Even Daryl Hagen, I think, was over there at that time. Was he there or he had taken off? So Daryl had taken off.
Mm,
Um, but what a great group to learn under, right? To
100%.
to
So
get
welcoming and still like able to help me learn and whatnot.
Yeah, 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 no doubt, no doubt. I'll give them a shout out too, man. They're amazing. Um, they're amazing. I do love those guys. They still take care of me to this day. So, you're over there and you start handling, and you're a handler about 3 years there,
Yeah,
right?
almost. Yeah.
So at some point, probably 6 months before your current job, you make a decision, right?
Help.
Talk to me about that.
Yeah, like the daily toll, love the perks of the job and getting to bring home my dog and whatnot. But I was like, okay, I've handled for some time now. Like I said, love learning. It's time for me to step it up and take it up a notch and start learning some more on how I can like learn how my dog got to where it is. Because I'm quite known to be frustrated and take it hard on myself. I'm my hardest critic, and like I get frustrated when I can't learn something. And so, whenever I had trouble with my dog and my trainer at the airport would try and tell me what to do, I'm like, well, that's great, but I want to finally learn how to do it, how to figure that out on my own, and take it from there and do my own type of training instead of relying on my trainer. So I was
Yeah.
like, I would love to just learn how to be a trainer, and that is where I am today, learning so wholeheartedly. And shout out to the people who are having patience with me to train it now, because ooh, your girl is a
Well,
wreck.
yeah, no, and look where you're at, that Federal Service Academy, there's no better place to get the reps. Canine being a good canine trainer is about getting reps, right? Getting those reps, getting those leashes through your hands. At some point, 5 years from now, you're gonna have 400 dogs through your hands. You know, because I think what a lot of people don't understand is about those academies like the 341st and even at CTC. Um, it's not like you just train one dog and put that dog out. You've got a whole team of dogs
Right.
that you're working with, you're helping with, you're influencing somehow, some way. And every bit of that matters to make that a successful product to put out to the field. So yeah, don't cut yourself short on that. Um, but for me, the other part of it was not only the reps and training, but when you start instructing, it's a whole different ball game, right? Because now you're projecting what you know and what you've learned and what you've experienced to someone that's brand new to the game.
Exactly. And that's another one reason why I wanted to take this job is like I wanted to share my experience because it is rare to have somebody who's has no canine experience and just built their way up. And I wanted to, because now that's a thing. That's how a lot of the handlers are being hired now is they don't have canine experience. So I thought that's cool to share that. And I've always wanted to be like, okay, in my shoes, I've also been through this school. So that
Yeah,
was
and I think you sound a little bit like me. After about 2 years of doing something, I want to go do something else.
word.
It's because it starts to get stale. So I hope you're not there yet in your career with the Federal
Lord, no.
Academy.
I have so much more to go. Oh Lord.
Yeah.
Like
And what's
boom.
good there is you get to move around a little bit within
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
organization, right? So with that being said, there's it shouldn't get too stale because you can train dogs for a while with no students, and then you can train students and dogs together, and then you can go out on the road and conduct evaluations or get attached to there's all kind of special projects that come through there
Sure.
on a
No.
regular basis. So no, that's cool. And I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really love your story. I was a little bit a part of your story at some point. Um, and I just remember having really good conversations with you. And I've always been super proud of you. I highlight you any chance I can. You know, you're not a legend yet. You're a trailblazer in the making, and you're gonna keep doing these great things. I know you will. Um, just my advice to you is don't let it get stale. That's the thing. Keep
No way.
keep learning, keep going. If you can get involved in something else outside of work with dogs too out there, and there's a million resources out there in that area you're at for other dog stuff too. So I just tell you to keep on shining, man. That's all you got to do.
Absolutely. Yeah, I'm surrounded by a great team that's been like pushing me forward and not making it still at all whatsoever. So I got a long way to go.
All right. Well, listen, I expect to continue to hear great things about you. And if I hear otherwise, I'm gonna come track you down and find you. I know exactly where you work at, or I'll make a couple phone calls to see what's going on. But hey, I want to thank you for joining me today. I know this isn't easy to get on here and talk about yourself. Somebody said the other day, "Well, we got to interview you. You ain't interviewing me." Uh, I'm in charge, right? I'm in charge of this, nobody else. But I thank you so much, man. It means a lot to me to watch you grow over the last 10 years. I'm so glad that you got to sit under Paul Bunker for quite a while. Uh,
100%.
and he's out doing amazing things as always. There's never been a moment that I've known him where he's not teaching someone something. So
Exactly. All
yeah.
the time. But no, thank you so much for having me. It is an honor to even be considered a trailblazer. I will tell you that. Because, ooh, got a long
Well,
time.
you're blazing the path. I mean, let's think about it. Let's think about it. Can't get a job in K-9, I have no experience. I'm gonna pay my way through school so I can get some experience. I'm a hire on with the company that I just paid them to send me through school. Then I'm gonna go out and do PBED work, oil field work, go over the vapor weight, take a shot, take a challenge, come back in as a K-9 handler and work my way quickly, mind you. 3 years, it was 3 years as a handler, right? 3 years is not a long time to be a handler, but you were impressive. A lot of people were asking about you and asking about getting you over to the training school. You got there on your own merit, right? You got there on your own merit, and now you're over there. You're doing great things. And like I said, you're gonna be you'll be a J band one day, and you'll be running some of that place. So don't forget about us out here, okay?
Absolutely.
All
Thank you so
right.
much again.
All right, Hayden, I appreciate you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Take care.
You too.